Hello everyone and welcome to Infotainment Lounge. Today's video is about motor neuron, structure of a motor neuron and the functions of its parts. So basically neurons are specialized cells which make up the entire nervous system. And neurons are mainly of three types: motor neuron, relay neuron and sensory neurons. Motor neurons are the ones which carry impulses from the central nervous system to the effectors, and sensory neurons are the ones that bring impulses from receptors to the nervous system, to the central nervous system. And relay neurons are the neurons which are present inside the central nervous system, that means brain and spinal cord. Now let's move on to the structure of motor neuron. So this is what a motor neuron looks like. It has basically a head and tail type of structure. This portion here is the head, and head is known as the cell body, and this here is the tail, and in this case it's called the axon. Now axon is actually a directional name. It is according to the direction of flow of impulses. There are two names, axon and dendron. Axon is named as is the part of the neuron which carries impulses away from the cell body, and dendron is the part of the neuron which carries impulses towards the cell body. So we are here talking about motor neuron, and this at this end of the motor neuron effectors are present, and this part of the neuron is connected to the central nervous system. So basically impulses are flowing from the central nervous system to the effectors through this motor neuron. So the direction of flow of impulse is from the head to the tail. That means in the tail the impulses are traveling away from cell body. That is why we call this tail the axon. So what actually would be the dendron? Here we can see a few thread-like structures attached to the cell body. These are called dendrites, and in case of a motor neuron, its dendrites are its dendrons because they carry impulses towards the cell body. Now, the cell body has a typical cell type structure. It has a nucleus, it has cytoplasm and other necessary cytoplasmic organelles, while its tail plays a very important role in transmitting the impulses. Now as you know that impulses are carried in the form of electrical charges through the neuron. Now those electrical charges are actually charged particles. They are ions, positive and negative ions, and they have to pass through the neuron to pass on the impulse. Now whenever we are dealing with charges inside a living body, it's obvious that we have to protect other organs, other tissues from being damaged by by those charges, and that function is performed by the myelin sheath. Myelin sheath is the outermost membrane of the axon. This myelin sheath provides insulation for the ions. Those ions cannot pass through the myelin sheath. But as you can see here, myelin sheath is not continuous. It is interrupted at several points, like here there is no myelin sheath. Again at this point there is no myelin sheath. These points are called nodes of Ranvier. What is the function of nodes of Ranvier? They actually allow charges to come in and out of the neuron. Those charged particles, those ions, they can come in and out of the neuron only at nodes of Ranvier, not at any other point of the neuron, because rest of the neuron is covered with myelin sheath, and myelin sheath does not allow to pass ions through it. Okay, now myelin sheath, as we know, is very important. Here you can see tiny cell-like structures attached to myelin sheath. These are called Schwann cells. These Schwann cells are responsible for the repair of myelin sheath in case of any damage. Myelin sheath, and the repair of myelin sheath is very important, and this is because neurons do not divide after a certain age. They do divide while the person is in his or her growing age, but after that neurons do not divide. So basically for lifetime you are going to have the same cells once you are a grown up. So in case of any damage, they would not be replaced by new cells. This is different from all the other body cells. Neurons will not be replaced by any new cells because they do not divide at all after maturation. So, in case of any damage, they have to be repaired. And to repair them, these cell-like structures known as Schwann cells, they are responsible. They keep on repairing myelin sheath in case of any damage. Then there are more thread-like structures at the bottom of the motor neuron. These are also dendrites, and these dendrites are also called axon terminal dendrites. Basically, they are at the end of the axon, that is why they are called axon terminal dendrites, and these dendrites are connected to the effectors. So the impulse which is passed on from the central nervous system to the motor nerves, that enters these dendrites and then the cell body, from where it goes on to the axon passes them on to the axon terminal dendrites, and then they pass on that impulse to the effector, and then effector does the action. Effectors are basically two effectors mainly in human body, muscles and glands. Either there is a muscular activity in a response to any stimulus, or there is a glandular activity. A gland produces a secretion in response to any external or internal stimulus. So this is the structure of a motor neuron, and this is and these are the functions of the parts of a motor neuron. I will soon upload a video about the structure of other two types of neurons, the relay neuron and sensory neuron, and how they differ from a motor neuron. But this is very important because many times in Cambridge examination, motor neurons, structure of motor neurons has shown up. So I hope this video was helpful. Keep on watching my videos and subscribe to Infotainment Lounge for more content ahead. Thank you very much.